a comically dark apartment building with a killer spider. Ooh. K-Dog's movie review. Sting is directed by Kia Roach Turner and stars Alila Brown and Ryan Corr. Brown plays a 12-year-old girl named Charlotte, whose pet spider starts growing rapidly fast and quickly develops a taste for human flesh. I saw this movie during one of those AMC Scream Unseen features where you have no idea what you're watching until the movie starts. I only knew it was rated R and it was labeled as a horror movie. Once I realized I was watching Sting, I was excited because I hadn't seen any trailers for it prior and I only knew it was about a killer spider. I'll start by saying that I love a good creature feature, whether wacky or serious. If a movie can give me some fun monster carnage and decent visuals and good sound, I'm satisfied. I don't have to care about the characters or the story or an underlying message as long as it's decently creepy with a good atmosphere and fun. Similar to monkey brain action movies, monkey brain horror is also something I do enjoy from time to time. This movie, well, almost gets it, but not quite, at least for me. So let's get into it. First off, this movie is not scary. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's about a killer spider. Personally, I find spiders cool. When I find them in my apartment, I let them live. I mean, come on, they kill mosquitoes. We are, however, placed in this claustrophobic apartment building for the entirety of the film. It's a decent setting, but my God, is this building incredibly dark. Turn on a damn light. I get it, it's easier to blend in the effects and horror with dark images, but my God, this movie is so dark. The building is old, and our story heavily relies on the use of gigantic vents that the characters have to crawl through. Not the most accurate, but a decent setting for a horror movie. Anyways, our main characters are also decently likable. The 12-year-old girl who raises the spider seems weirdly mature for her age, given some of the dialogue she has and the way she reacts to horrific events, but it's fun to watch her as a horror protagonist when it ramps up. The other main character, who plays her stepfather, does a great job here as well. The family dynamic feels authentic. The rest of the tenants in this building have their own movie quirks, which are satisfactory for a monster movie like this. The monster is well designed too. I mean, it's a spider, not a unique design per se, but the sounds it has, special abilities, and weaknesses it has are decent. The movie also utilizes both practical and CG effects. When practical, I think it's well done. Close-ups of the creature, the webbing, the way in which it attacks its victims. The kills are fun. One scene in particular made me squirm in the way in which it was done. Great monster movie stuff. The pacing is great too. The movie sits at about 90 minutes long, and it certainly doesn't overstay its welcome. The story is pretty linear. We know exactly where things are headed. No spoilers, but the characters are presented with a monster, and they need to figure out how to survive said monster. Nothing complex, but it's okay, because it's fun. Again, monkey brain horror. They also throw in a lot of nods to other famous horror movies, such as Predator, The Thing, Alien, and Aliens. If you get the references, it's kind of cool. So, if everything I'm describing is positive, where did this movie go wrong? Why didn't I leave the theater loving it as much as I supposedly should have? Well, it's because of the tone of the movie. Here, it's mismatched. Tone can be really tough in horror. On one end of the spectrum, you can go serious, dreadful, while on the other, dumb fun. It's really difficult to blend those two together and come out with a cohesive feeling for a movie. As I said, monkey brain horror. This movie is about a killer spider making its way through a New York City apartment building. It sounds like a fun time, and this movie definitely is at time. The characters are quirky, the horror action is exciting, and there's a lot of humor thrown into this movie, way more than I was expecting, which in itself is okay. But where the movie falters are the overacted character moments. This movie tries to be fun, dumb horror while also including these greatly acted, but weirdly mismatched family drama interactions. It's not just at one point either, because that would be kind of funny, one little serious scene within all this wackiness, but it's not. It's for the entirety of the film. And as I said, they're acted really well by likable characters, so those scenes don't feel like they belong in this movie. It feels like the writers really wanted us to care about our protagonist's survival, which is important, but when mixed with all this other silly shit, it comes off as awkward. I think realizing the tone and understanding how your movie feels to an audience is really important. There were a couple of scenes in this movie that felt unintentionally funny. Scenes that sound horrific on paper, but when they happen, my audience was laughing. I also can totally see younger horror fans loving this movie. It's rated R, but can definitely be edited down for cable TV, like on Sci-Fi Channel or something. Watching our 12-year-old protagonist trying to overcome this spider monster while also having comedic moments lends itself to an easy watch for someone younger. I think if I first saw this when I was like 15 or something, I would have absolutely loved it. So overall, while I enjoyed a lot of things in this movie, I didn't really love it as a whole. The tone felt all over the place because when it's dramatic, it's pretty good. But when it tries to be funny, which it does a lot, it comes off as distracting. Let me know what you guys thought of this movie in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was as funny as it tried to be? What's your favorite creature feature? Till next time.